If you're watching this video today, you have either A, bought Sandtrap Golf and you're here to learn how to play the game, or you're interested in buying the game. In any event, we're going to show you exactly how to play Sandtrap Golf. Okay, before we actually play the game, I want to take a minute and talk about how some of these cards work together. It's important when it comes to scoring when you're playing the game. So I've got three columns of cards, or two rows. By the way, when you deal and you're ready to play, this is exactly how your cards are going to look, except they're all going to be face down. You're not going to be able to see them. But I want to talk about how these cards work together. You've got three types of cards, really. You've got the single-digit green cards. You've got the double-digit green cards over here, and then you've got the red cards. So obviously the red cards look really good, double eagle, wild card, things like that. So when you're done playing the game, you're going to score in columns, and we'll explain a little bit more in detail, but here's how the cards work together. Single-digit green cards in a column get added together, so 8 and a 5 would be a 13. The double-digit cards, same thing, 10 and 15 would be a 25. The green, or the red card, excuse me, if it's got a wild card underneath it, it doubles the value. So that -3 would become a -6. If I put a 4 over here as an example, that'd be a -7. So you'd have a +13, you'd have a +25 for a total of 38, and then -7 for a 31. Now, let's talk a little bit about the other things that this wild card does here real quickly. So I had it here in this particular scenario so that doubles the value of a red card. If you swap it out over here, for example, in this scenario, a wild card will zero out the value of a single-digit green card. So 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up through a 9. That would make this column a 0. A wild card does nothing against the value of a double-digit card. You're just stuck with those. So in this particular case, that would be a 10 in that column. Okay. Now the other thing I'd like to say about the single-digit cards is this. Single-digit cards of the same value, so I'll put 5s in here, cancel each other out. So these two 5s cancel each other out, making a 0. That does not work over here with the double-digit cards. You could have a Sandtrap here, but you're still going to have 20 points in that column. So in this case, you'd have 0. Over here, you'd have 25. Over here, you'd have a -6. The last card that I want to talk about briefly is the mulligan card. So the mulligan card, if it's in your hand, it's got that point value and you're stuck with it. But if you draw it during the course of play, it's like a mulligan on the golf course. You get a do-over, and you'll see how that plays out in the course of play. Okay, let's begin talking a little bit about how to play. We're going to take the tin apart here. We're going to take the rules. We'll set them aside there. You're watching this, so you don't actually have to read that. I'd like to introduce, while I'm shuffling these cards up, my friend Ty, who's going to be helping me demonstrate how to play the game today. So begin by mixing all the cards up here. You don't actually shuffle them. Good luck on that one. If you traditionally shuffle them, you're just going to mix them all up. And then each player is going to draw 6 cards each, and you're going to put them in the 2 columns that I mentioned before, or the 2 rows, or 3 columns. But all cards are going to remain face down. You're not allowed to look at any of the cards prior to playing the game, which is part of the strategy of the game and part of the luck of the game. The object of the game is to be the first player with all of your cards turned up with the lowest possible score, leaving your opponents with as many cards face down and stuck with what's under their hand. They have no idea what's underneath there, nor do you. So that's kind of the object of the game. And so once you've got it sorted out here and you've got the hands dealt, you're going to kind of create a place here in the middle for a discard pile. Now, all players will begin by turning any 2 of their cards over. So Ty's going to turn over. I'm going to turn 2 cards over.
17.
Yep, he's got 17. I've got 10. I've got an 8. So whoever has the lowest score begins play. Now, if we had a tie here, all players would flip over a 3rd card as well, and whoever's got the lowest score would start. So as the game starts right now, as the first player, and only the first player gets to do this, I will draw a card from here, and I'll make a determination of whether I want to keep it or not. It's a +4. Now, a +4 is better than this 10. So I have the choice of either keeping this card and replacing it with that 10 and discarding the 10, or discarding the 4 and drawing a second one. Only the first player gets to draw a second time. So I think I'm going to go for a better card. So I'm going to discard that 4, and I got a 0. That's a better card. So in this case, I'm going to discard this 10. Now, going forward, when Ty gets ready to play with the other players, they can either draw from the discard pile or draw from the pile here. And so it's going to be Ty's turn.
So I could take this, but then it would do what?
Well, a single-digit card would cancel each other out. The double-digit cards don't. So you'd just be having 20 points in that column.
Perfect. So another 10.
Yep, no
Discard.
good. Yep, so it's my turn. I'm not interested in that card, so I'm going to draw here. I'm not interested in that either, so I'm going to discard that.
-1.
Great card.
Replace that with a 10.
Okay, so Ty just got rid of that Sandtrap, that 10, and took the -1 card. I'm going to grab, I've got a -2 here, so I'm going to just take this middle card here and put the -2 there, and that's a +3. It's not a bad card, but the -2 is better. So Ty replaced that 3 with the 7. Good move on his part. So I've got a 7 here. I'm not interested in that. I'm going to discard that.
Let's see what we get. +2. +3.
Okay, so Ty got the +2, replace that with the +3. I'm going to, okay, another minus card. That's great. I'm going to take one of these cards down here. I don't know what I have yet, but I want to know. So I'm going to grab this one right here. Well, now, once you flip a card over, it's gone. I don't get to say, well, I like the plus or -4 better. I'm going to keep it. Once that card is flipped over, I've got to discard it, and Ty gets to be the beneficiary of that card.
I'm going to take that, replace it with this one.
Okay.
Which was a +4.
Yep, so good move for him. I don't want the +4, so I'm going to draw another card here. That's a +10 Sandtrap. I don't want that.
+5, don't want that.
Okay. I'm going to draw another card. +1, not bad. I'm going to replace that over here. That was a good move for me, getting rid of that pot bunker.
Really good. +8, don't want that one.
Okay. And I'm down to 1 card left. Ty's still got a couple cards up, so if I can get out here quickly, which, now that's a mulligan. And remember, when you draw a mulligan, I get a turn. And if I don't like it, I get a second draw. So the 10 is no good, so I'm going to take my mulligan and take a second draw, and that's a -3. That's a really good card, so I'm going to swap that out. Okay, now, the first player gets all their cards turned over. This draw pile is frozen, so even though I put that 0 there, and Ty would like to have that, it's frozen. Now, when I'm done, every player gets one last chance to improve their hand from the draw pile, so Ty's going to have one more chance.
This one, -1.
Good card, -1.
Replace with this guy. Ooh.
Oh, okay.
0.
And then he's going to flip over the last card that he has, and he's stuck with whatever that happens to be an 8. Okay, so this hand is over, which means this particular hole is over. 1 hand equals 1 hole. Okay, so 9 hands would be 9 holes. So here's how we score. We score down in columns. So I've got a 0 and a -1 for a -1. I've got the -2 and the +1. That's a net -1 here. So now I'm 2 under. And then I got a -5, so that gives me those 3 added up give me a -7 for my hand. Ty, what do you got?
I got a -1.
-1.
I got a +1.
So you're even.
Yep, and then I have a 7.
Okay, so you're 7 over.
Yep.
I believe I was 7 under. You're 7 over, right?
Yes.
Okay, so, yep, so we're going to grab the scorecard right there real quick. And on the scorecard here, we're playing hole number 1. And it happens to be a par 4. So we're going to go up to the scoring system here on par 4. And I got a -7. So right here on the scorecard, a -7 to a -15 is a birdie. I got a birdie for the hole. Ty, you got a
I have a
+7, right? So the +7 actually is a bogey. So on this particular hole, on the par 4, I got a birdie and Ty got a bogey. So we're going to play another hand. As we get ready to play the second hand, or the second hole, according to golf, right? Ty's already shuffled the cards and kind of mixed them up here a little bit. Now, the rules actually say when you go to the second hand, the third hand, the fourth hand, that you begin that the same way you did the first hand, where everybody flips over 2 cards and the lowest person goes. A variation that I kind of like, it's not in the rules, but it's kind of like golf. Whoever won the last hand has the tee blocks and goes first the second time around. So that's the way we're going to play. So since I won that last hand, we're going to all grab our cards. We're still going to flip 2 over, but rather than letting that score determine who goes first, I'm just going to go first. So we're going to begin by drawing our 6 cards here. And we're going to watch Ty get smoked once again.
Hoping that. Okay, 2. Ooh.
Okay. So we're going to flip any 2 cards over here. So I'll just flip those 2 over. All right.
I got 13.
Okay, so Ty's not looking so good there to start with. So now I'm going first, and so I'm going to grab a card here, -3. I want to keep that right away, and I'm going to keep that and put it there. Now, if I didn't like it, I could have drawn a second time because it's the first hand, or the first player in the hand, but I'm going to keep that card.
Wild card.
Good job. So that wild card can either go over here and cancel that out and make that a 0. It obviously doesn't do anything against the 10. Okay, 0. I actually like that, so I'm going to take that. I have no idea what's going on in this column, so I'm going to go ahead and swap that out. That was a good swap. No good? No? -1. Ty, it's not looking good for you right now. Okay, that's another good swap for me.
+6.
Okay, this is not really going well for Ty at all. Another 0. I'm going to take that.
I'm gonna switch it out.
Okay, now you could have put that over here, and that would have made that a 0, but
Yeah.
but you can't now. And I'm going to draw a card here. I'm not going to take that.
Okay. What do we got? +10.
Okay, 0. I'm going to take that, and I'm going to throw that over here.
That was really good.
Yep. Okay. So all cards are turned over, so the game is frozen. Now this pile is frozen. Ty has one opportunity now to improve his hand. Now you'll notice a little bit different strategy here. These cards played well for me, so I just got out as quick as I could, leaving him as many cards in his hand as possible.
Yeah. +5. +7.
Okay.
Flip these two.
Yep. Flip your last 2 cards over.
+6. +10.
Okay.
Definitely not a good round.
So this is why you want to go out quick and leave somebody stuck. So now for me, I've got a -4 in this column. I've got a -4 over here, so I got a total of -8 for this hand, and they need 0. So I've got a -8. Ty, what do you have?
So I have a 3 and a 5, which is 8.
Yep.
And then a +6 on a wild card is what?
The wild card cancels out a single,
Okay.
the single green card, so that's a 0 in that
8.
column.
Okay, and I have 10 and 3, which is 13. I have 21.
Yep, so you have 8 and the 13 for 21. So I've got -8, you've got 21. We're playing the second hole now, and that's a par 5. And if we go up here to the par 5, my -8, the -5 to -10, that's a birdie. So I've got another birdie. Ty had a 21. So 20 and over is a quadruple bogey. So if you're a golfer, you know that that just sucks. So the first hand I had a birdie, you had a bogey. The second hand I got a birdie, and you got a quadruple bogey. And so that's how you play Sandtrap golf. You'll continue to play your 9 hands, or if you're playing 18 holes, you'll play 18 hands. A hand actually, or a hole, goes pretty darn quick. Once you've played it a few times, it's a matter, even with 4 players, you'll play a hand in a matter of 2 or 3 minutes, depending on the cards. So, and you can have a lot of fun with this game. So if you're kind of on the golf course and you'll bet on a hole or something like that, you can do the exact same thing here, and you can bet on a hole, and whoever wins a hole, you're just keeping track of that and just having some fun with the game. So the last thing you want to remember about the game, though, is, again, that final strategy is to get all your cards turned over quickly and leaving everybody else stuck with what they got. And just like golf, you're going to play 9 holes, you're going to play 18 holes, and when you're done, whoever's the lowest score at the end of the round wins.